DPW Water Division is responsible for providing potable water to our 23,000 residents. We have 8 water production wells, 2 water treatment plants, and 123 miles of water main as part of our water system.
Do you ever wonder where your last glass of water came from? Canton has 8 wells that are tapped into the ground that extract water with helps of pumps, and they make their way to the treatment plants. The town has 2 fairly large areas of wooded wetlands that they draw from. One is off Neponset Street near Sharon, and the other is off of Pecunit Street. In addition to the wells, we have an interconnection with the Massachusetts Water Resource Authority, which many of you know as the MWRA, and they help supply water in times in the summer with high demand or in firefighting situations.
Once the raw water gets to the treatment facilities, the first thing we do is we aerate to get rid of the VOCs in the water, and also to help to oxidize the naturally occurring iron and manganese in the water. Then it goes through the filtration process. We treat it for disinfectant, adjust the pH as it goes through the filtration process and through the facility before it finally gets to the carbon filtration at the end. Carbons have the added benefit of removing PFAS. PFAS is a contaminant that I'm sure everyone is hearing a lot about in the news. Canton has actually preemptively been testing for PFAS. We were actually one of the first towns in the state of Massachusetts to start testing for PFAS, even before DEP required us to do so.
Once the water goes out into the distribution system and in the mains, then it hits your service line, which ends up in your house. In your house, you have the main valve, which is before the meter, which will stop the water from the street if the meter has to be changed or work has to be done in your house. The town also does hydrant flushing twice a year. One is for water quality and moving water in low usage areas, and it's also for making sure that the fire hydrants are in proper operating condition.
So one of the first strategies we implement for wellhead protection is monitoring the source water. So Canton has a rigorous groundwater monitoring program so we can see the water that's flowing towards the town's wells. Canton also does regular sampling of stormwater that's discharging throughout town. And this water is ultimately recharging the groundwater supply that feeds the town's wells. So this gives the town good indication of any leading indicators of change that they can then respond to rapidly. The next strategy is reducing the risk of contamination to the town's groundwater itself. And this is required by both federal and state law. There's certain land uses that are just too risky to have in the recharge area for a town's drinking water supply. So activities like landfills, bulk petroleum storage, hazardous waste manufacturing, and the town of Canton protects the recharge area for its wells through the Groundwater Protection Zoning District. And that helps to ensure that the risk of contamination to the drinking water source is minimized as much as possible. So the third strategy to help protect the source of the town's drinking water is something that everyone in town can help out with. These are things like using the town's hazardous waste drop-off day to dispose of any chemicals you don't need anymore, picking up after pets' waste, following the instructions on any fertilizer or pesticide you might be using on your property. And then we recommend using centralized commercial car washes because they have cleaning systems to help make sure that detergent doesn't make its way back into the groundwater.
Our system is valued at about $200 million, and we continue to upgrade the system every year. We're making improvements to our treatment facility right now and to our distribution system and our hydrants and services, all to ensure that we have potable water well into the future.